So we were understanding this is all contemplation and reflection. Every session when we discuss, it is all about contemplation and reflection so that our wrong notions about our life and living are dropped and we start living in peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. So, very important topics karma yoga. It is all about expectations and peace of mind. So, see one example that there is a rose flower in a garden. You pass by the garden, you get the fragrance. There is a possibility that you are so much busy, your mind is filled with expectations, and you don't feel that fragrance. A non seeker never feels that fragrance, and a seeker finds the fragrance. That is what the teacher do. So that is how you can say I got too much, uh, I had a too much liking for my master because he worked like a bloomed flower every time. Every time I feel his presence and I received something. That is what is the beauty of the Eastern wisdom, that I should be a seeker in order to find that fragrance in the life. But if the mind is filled with lot of expectations, what happens? The false I is created. See that? False I is created. And when the false I is created, I am a non-seeker. And then what happens? This false I must go. That is what is Karma Yoga. So Karma Yoga educates us to drop that false I so that we can have a fragrance at any moment, at every moment in our life. So that is what Masters always talks about, the pure mind. We are a seeker, and the seeker would always like to pass and get the fragrance in any moment, in every moment. You see, when we were kids, we were sent to kindergarten, early schools. Millions of kids goes to the school. Rather, they were forced, they were educated to go to the school. Find out in the high school, the number of the kids reduces. That those who go to the school. I think you are getting it. I'm trying to give you another context. Now in bachelors, the number of students further decreases. In bachelors, further reduction. And in PhD, there is only one PhD here, Brandy. So you have millions of people, millions of kids going to the school, and the number goes on decreasing, and only one or two or only rare people gets the PhD. What do you mean by getting the PhD? You are a seeker. Huh? You are a seeker. So the continuity of understanding, getting into the knowledge, and living with that knowledge is doing a PhD and then you are a seeker. So people leave in the middle. No, no, I don't want to study. I don't. No, that is what happens. Huh? You are changing the track. No, I'm not changing the track. I keep the topic self discovery. I keep the topic intact. That is awakening. I keep the topic permanent peace and happiness. So, what happens? Why people drop their education? Because of impulsive and instinctive nature. They are carried away by the impulsive and instinctive nature, and that impulsive and instinctive nature fails us to become a seeker. So there comes a false I, and if the false I is not dropped, Karma Yoga cannot succeed. If the Karma Yoga does not succeed, mind will not become pure. So it's see the practical application, very practical application. You are a seeker. Honey, now you have understood. I use the word honey with whom you are associated, linked. It is not only the husband and a wife. So someone, your honey becomes angry. Now you are a seeker. You instantly become aware. You have a smile on the face. And you know now how to deal with that level of self awareness. You have done a PhD. But there is only one person who has done PhD in our group, Brandy. Do you see that? Do you see that? So your mind has changed. The impure mind is not becoming impulsive, and the moment it becomes impulsive, the false I takes over. And when the false I takes over, we drop karma yoga. We are guided and dictated by the karma only. It is possible. It is 100% possible. So, what is going to happen when we do the karma yoga? The moment we wake up in the morning until we sleep, what is going to happen? The lot of expectations from the society, from the world, that causes the mind crazy and lazy will drop. It's not a big deal. So, it is not an escape. Karma yoga is not an escape. That you are living in the same world, you are doing what you are doing. But because you are performing a karma yoga with a goal, with an aim, that you are seeking freedom from what you do not want. What you do not want? You don't want anxiety, you don't want reaction, uh, you don't want pain, you don't want suffering. So that karma yoga has to be applied the moment we wake up in the morning until we retire to the bed. I believe you are getting it. That's why I'm giving a couple of more sessions on karma yoga so that your mind should not go to the extreme. And it happens with every seeker. Take an example of Buddha. Buddha was living in all kinds of luxuries. In fact, I told you that his father created a Las Vegas in his kingdom for Buddha. Do you remember that? Or you can say Sin City. You can use, we use different words. All kinds of luxuries, all kinds of pleasures. whether it's a sexual pleasure, gambling, everything was given to the Buddha when his father learned from an astrologer that he is going to be a great monk, and he was the only son. But anyhow, he left the palace. And then when he left the palace, he went to another extreme. What is that another extreme? He was sleeping on the floor. He was taking only one meal. And within 6 years, he was reduced to skeleton. Only another master, Alar Kalam, once he realized that now his mind is saturated with that extreme, he took him under a tree and he guided him to mindfulness. So when we enter into this path of the self-discovery or mindfulness, or even in daily life, we go to the other extreme. Okay, honey, I will not talk to you from today. Enough is enough. You see, I went to the other extreme. Same thing in the professional life. My boss is the craziest people I found. Why you are working there then? So I live with those extremes. In order to remove those extremes and live in peace and happiness, karma yoga is essential. So the seeker applies that knowledge inside in daily living. Goal is again you see that goal is to purify the mind and freedom from what I do not want. So what karma yoga gives you a life, or if I say the karma yoga gives you an understanding how to live from a moment to moment. You will find unfavorable situations every day in life. You remove the false I, there is nothing that you can say unfavorable. Are you getting it? You remove the false I inside, problem is there, it is an opportunity. Opportunity is there, it is a grace of the existence. Are you getting it? Honey is not listening to you today. Calm down. Check yourself that what you want him or her to listen to you. Check it again and express it again. Free from the false I. Do you see? Do you see that change? Instant change comes from the karma yoga, and the mind is pure. Mind is not accumulating unnecessary false information, false, impulsive and instinctive reaction. See that? So when we talk of the mindfulness or meditation, it's not that you go to the Himalayas and sit there and do. No, you have to live your life daily from moment to moment. And there comes these small secrets of karma yoga. So when you add yoga, I told you yoga. Here, when we translate yoga as a mental state, a proper and the right attitude inside, and action is done with that attitude. Do you still remember? Karma, yoga, any action, every action in our life. So I briefed couple of weeks before, are you living wisely? Can I give you a personal example? Promise me that you should not tell my honey. No, but it's a fact, even if you tell, it doesn't matter. On Tuesday, we went to a dentist, and they have done a surgery on the lower. And for the last 2 days, she has a big face. She is suffering. Why she is suffering? Ask yourself. That is what I explained to you. Should I not apply the knowledge that I'm doing something, I'm getting something done for the sake of good? Mental attitude. Do you see that? I know in the surgery, the more and more blood will come out. Every time she looks, so much of blood. Now, I'm not making fun, I'm serious. But I should have a proper and the right attitude. What is it? What is the event? So I want to move from unfavorable to favorable circumstances. I should keep that knowledge. Let me calm down. But there are people who are deeply attached to the body. Because of the false I, they suffer the most. We have to live wisely when there are unfavorable circumstances, when there is an extreme pain. Are you understanding that? That is the meaning of living wisely. And that is what I said. Does the sun rise in the morning? No, I must keep that in my head. It has nothing to do with the bad and good morning. These are the times when I should contemplate and reflect that I am not the body. Suffering belongs to the body. I am not worthy of suffering. Are you getting it? Say yes. No, these situations and unfavorable conditions are bound to enter my life. And I am ready. I am doing karma yoga. It doesn't mean that, you go outside in the street and start laughing. Do you see that I'm suffering? And still I'm smiling. So that is another false eye. Another false eye. Many people do it. Many people. Just understand that point. I have seen, I met, I interacted with many coaches, and first they start how much I was suffering. Everyone left me, my honey left me, my kids left me, and then I earned millions of dollars, and then everyone came in my life, and I accepted them. Now I have a branded car and come on, what you are talking? You are still living in a false eye. Are you getting it? As long as you live with a false eye, you are not getting rid of the karma, you are not doing the karma yoga, you are not living wisely. That is the cause. You want freedom from what you do not want, and you are getting more and more what you do not want. We are going deeper. No, these coaches are good, great. They always talk about their suffering first for 10 minutes. Then they talk about how much possessions that they have. False eye. I'm not worthy of suffering. See that. They talk about how much I suffer. Why should I talk about how much I suffer? You may have a different opinion, but think of it, contemplate, reflect. I should not and never talk about my suffering because it creates further impressions in the mind and that builds the false I. That false I says, now see how much I have. I have only one question. Do you live in peace? Are you in peace and happiness? Simple. Is there a continuity of the peace and happiness? Simple. So the last point in that karma yoga is also very important. If you contemplate and reflect again and again, you can never be in stress, sorrow, and the suffering and the grief. There must be a cause of suffering. Cause and effect are two different things. I told you this beautiful woman whose mother died, she was grieving, she was shedding a lot of tears because of the grief. But I wanted to know the cause. You will say, no, no, her mother died. No, that is not the cause. What is the underlying cause? What was the underlying cause? So I found out that the cause, she got a couple of millions of dollars. She is still with me and she is happy now. Pay attention. There must be a cause of my suffering. Cause and effect are two different things. Because of the effect, my mother died, I am grieving. We continue to fight with the effect. We never find the cause. Whose mother never died? Tell me. That is the ultimate cause. But I do not have a right and proper attitude. So I will continue to the suffer, and then the mind continues suffering in the life. Link it this. If I have a surgery, why shouldn't I have a pain? Tell me. I also had it, like 2 or 3 weeks, and on Wednesday, couple of weeks ago. So it was a pain, but yes, I know it's a pain is there. It's inevitable. But the suffering should not be there. That suffering can be eliminated by keeping the mind in peace. Knowing and understanding that I am not worthy of suffering. So cause is removed. Let there be a pain, it will take couple of days. She asked me how long this pain will be there. I said maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I extended that period. Now see the very keen observation by our masters. That is very important to know that. We divide actions from the scientific point of view as voluntary and involuntary actions. Yeah, involuntary. Breathing, heartbeat, lot of involuntary actions, beating of the heart, blinking of the eyelids, they are all involuntary. Now think. If the existence does not keep the blinking of the eyelids involuntary, you will forget blinking the eyelids and it will harm your eyes. Did you get it? Existence is helping me, supporting me. But I introduce the false I. I introduce the false I. Think. You forget breathing. It's an involuntary. What will happen? We eat our food, but the existence helps me to digest the food. You never say that, let me sit down, meditate to digest the food. It's a very serious, very, very deeper. So the moment I see that existence is constantly helping me to live, and the false I creates a limit, creates a creates a boundary. Creates a boundary in anywhere, in all the actions in my life. I believe you understand. Say yes. Involuntary activities, if they are not present, me as a human being, I will not be able to survive even for 24 hours. And we have a big ego. Okay, come on, I'm doing it. I have achieved millions and billions. Now compare the two. Okay, you made $1 million. You were stressed before. Yesterday also, this guy. No, no, just want to talk to you. I said, okay, you talk to me. I'm not interested in listening to your story of suffering because you are unworthy of suffering. You tell me what you do and how we can work together. Having said that, now understand. Pay attention. So we are going deeper. The first, involuntary, voluntary actions. So realize, let me appreciate, let me, let me be grateful to the existence who allowed me to live here and now because of all those involuntary activities. Now come to the voluntary activities. You made $1 billion. So one master laughingly said, okay, you made $1 million. So who participated in it? My body, my mind, my sense organ, my intellect, my knowledge. Okay. So existence gave you your five sense organs, your mind and intellect, plus the knowledge also. So let me take everything and then you earn $1 billion and tell me you have earned it. Are you getting it? We're going deeper. Knowledge comes from the existence that this is $1,000 and this is $5. So you can translate that story in a different way. The God says, I have given you five sense organs, I have given you the body, I have given you the mind and intellect, give me all, and then show me how you can earn $1 billion. Did you get it? When you contemplate and reflect in this way, that false ego drops down. You can also explain in that way. Many people say, I'm a self made. Ah, really? Self made? Self made? Do you see that? Don't tell them, but I have to have that level of humility. It is because of the five sense organs intact. My mind and intellect, they are intact. And I use them to get $1,000. Do you see that? Do you see the knowledge in that? Self-made. So people who have been saying I'm a self-made, they will not say. Do you see that self-made? What do you mean by the self-made? We use these flowery words to strengthen our ego. Everything comes from the existence. I align with the existence. That helps me to purify the mind, and that mind reflects the real self. Think of it, contemplate, and you will see that calmness, that peace, that joy continuously flows in you. Now I said, last point, I said to my Ani that it will continue for another 2-3 weeks. So at least her mind will change. Sometimes you tell a lie in order to get the things right. Okay, let us close your eyes and start our journey. Start our journey. Eyes are closed, you're comfortable, and you're comfortable moving the mind slowly on all the joints of the body. We're keeping a little change with a deeper understanding. We're keeping the same practice but a deeper understanding. So, moving the mind and understanding with that knowledge that this being comfortable, my friends, if you look closely, it is involuntary. Being comfortable is my nature. Becoming comfortable is my false nature, because the ego comes in and says, no, I have to be comfortable, I have to be comfortable, I have to struggle, I have to fight, I have to react. They all come from that false ego. So the karma yoga is not applied. Now it is not, the false ego is not keeping its reaction. It's okay if it's an involuntary. In case of a Atari, it's okay. Now being carefree also, pay attention to the involuntary and voluntary. You leave everything on the existence. So what existence? You leave everything on the existence, and the mind says, no, I have lot of uninvited, unwelcome thoughts. So leave it. Why worry? Let it come and go. Separate yourself. You are being carefree. Check it. Check it. Understand it. You'll find out. Here and now. Slowly, step by step, the clarity we are understanding from practice to non-practice. That knowledge, that awareness, if I say we regain the state of being comfortable, state of being carefree. We lost that being comfortable and being carefree because of the false I, because of the impurity of the mind. I believe you all are getting it. And now we regained it. That tunes us with our existence, but the mind continues to throw its tantrum. So we have Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. You said it mentally or loudly, and your mind went deeper. Oh, it is an existence. It's a common factor. Existence says peace is your essential nature. False I says, no, I have to work hard to be in peace. You see, I'm direct now. With the same mantra. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Mind drops all its reaction, expectations, blame, complaint, goes deeper within, and it finds, yes, may there be a state of well being. Look at it. You are aware here and now. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Common factor. We appear different, David, Jerry, Brandy, Barbara, me, you, he, she. Outside, surface level, at the effect level, manifestation. But deeper inside, we want freedom from what I do not want. So don't get attached to it. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. There are trillions of the thoughts, uninvited, unwelcome, on which the false I is built. You're leaving everything. You say, okay, let me replace it. How? Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. When you realize this power, you realize the power of the mantra. So another application of the mantra to get rid of the false I, the impurity of the mind. I never talked about that before. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Your dad, your mom, your honey said you something that made you upset. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Mind, don't build your ego. Don't react. Let me move deeper. First find out the peace and allow the peace to flow into my mind to respond. Practical, pragmatic. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Contemplate on it, how it will help you to move with the existence, not move with the false ego. May there be completeness. If I am complete in myself, how dare you can make me upset? When that knowledge is settled, the mind gets the right and the proper attitude, you are ready to respond. Means you're ready to do the karma. That's how I categorize 6 types of the karma. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. You don't leave even a slight trace of the false I. Who can create a sense of limitedness, a delusion in you. In your mind, that is impurity. So what happens now? You smile when someone is upset over you because you want to solve it. A great change comes in our life. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Mangalam, auspiciousness. Existence is always in the mode of auspiciousness. You get it? Yes. And if it is always in the mode of auspiciousness, how dare my mind with its impurities or the false I causes inauspiciousness? How dare we challenge it? Existence gave me the knowledge that I must get rid of the problem, my gun, so there is a surgery. You should have that thinking. I tell you, you cannot prevent smile and laughing. Oh yes, in a week or so, everything fall into right place because of the existence. The healing takes place by the existence. Doctor cannot heal. See the point. This is what is the moving from ignorance to wisdom. Yes, we will continue our journey of quick and short breathing. Remember, first layer, body. No, first layer is the world outside. World around you is calm because your mind is moving within. Second layer, body remains steady. Third layer, breathing. Start breathing, quick and short breathing. And the fourth layer is the mind dropping Shantoham. Fifth layer, intellect, knowing what it means by the Shantoham. Continue, quick and short breath. You all know what we are doing. All the 5 layers, you are aware, they are separate, they are part of the existence. What I have to do? All your voluntary action becomes involuntary, consciously. Involuntary in modern psychology is at the level of subconscious and habitual mind. I'm using the phrase to make you understand. So keep on doing. Involuntary means you are now no longer a doer. Breath is doing its work, body is steady, the mind is chanting mentally Om Shantoham, and the Shantoham means I'm the peace, and the intellect is knowing it. What's a big deal? How dare I say that I'm working so hard to get into peace and happiness? How dare I say that I earn millions? And stop it. It's very good. If you continue to do it, Terry, even your movement is definitely going to stop. It is caused by the impure mind, a sense of I-ness. Now start breathing deep, silent, and slow. We will do the nyas only in the spine. Again, become aware. Just understand this clearly. The existence manifest in the world that we created outside for our daily life. Where are you in your room? His room is quiet, yes. Comfortable with the temperature, yes. Do you see it? His existence is helping me. And I unnecessarily bring the impure mind and the false eye to intervene. And then look at the body. Thanks existence, the body is steady, calm and relaxed. And then go to the breath. Start breathing deep, silent and slow. It is happening. And every time the breath goes and the mind moves from the crown of the head to the tailbone dropping, you can use any Om Shanti in that space. So you created a space means you said goodbye to all the impurities of the mind for a while to ask the intellect to reflect. Om Shanti. Om is the real self and Shanti is the peace. Or you can say you're replacing. My friends, you're replacing unwanted, uninvited, unwelcome millions and trillions of thoughts that enters in our mind. You cannot control them. You cannot remove them permanently. And when you exhale, the mind moves from the tailbone to the crown of the head with the mind saying Om Shanti. Body remains steady. The indication and the experience of the steadiness of the body will help us to discover existence is supporting me. The false eye never realizes this, will never understand this. Pain, unfavorable conditions in my life are an opportunity to endure, to dissociate, to drop the impressions, not to create those further impressions in my life. I can tell you, this is what our great masters teaches us. Shanti. When you are singing Om Shanti with your breath, moving the mind in the spine, you mean it. What does that mean? I know it. What does it mean? I'm aware of it. How dare the mind can claim that I'm worthy of suffering? The existence has given us the mind. We are not reacting to what the mind is doing. We are just replacing. Why? To align with the existence. Shanti. And now leave this, move the mind deep inside the cave of your heart as if you are bypassing all the 5 sheets you remember by singing mind seemingly stops, drop the shanti, you are already absorbed. But if the mind returns again with uninvited, unwelcome thoughts, they are in trillions. We know Shanti. Don't fight with any thought that enters the mind uninvited, unwelcome. Everything is 100% clear. You are in that higher state of the consciousness. You are in the state of mindfulness. Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside. The palms, know your experiences. Bring the hands down, we'll share our experiences now. How are you, Stephen?
Excuse me, I'm good. Thank you for that. Completely effortless, peaceful, and when we got to the triangle within the heart center, I was just in a absolute deep, blank, quiet space. A few times felt like I was going to fall over from my sitting, but yeah, it was. I caught myself and I just went back into that deep spot. So
Beautiful.
thank you.
Beautiful. You see that? Tell him that what I discuss in every session is contemplation and reflection. Stephen, you tell him this is all about contemplation, reflection. So why I'm going too far? That is the problem. How are you, David and Jerry?
Yeah, thank you for that meditation. It was very good for me. The preamble, as I call it, was interesting at the beginning because I was reflecting just right at the very beginning about the pain and how the pain in your teeth or your mouth or whatever is for the betterment of your health. And as I started to get into it, my mind started going, and I said to myself, my mind is a pain. There's a benefit to my mind when I need it to think, but right now treat it as a pain. And then after that, it was, just, I heard everything you said, but it was just kind of blank.
You see, it's a beautiful contemplation and reflection. I should add here that today pain is tomorrow peace and happiness. I don't see this. Why I don't see this? Because of the false I. Why false I? Because I identify with the body, that I am the body. You see that? Go on, continue. Impurities of the mind. This is what our masters are teaching. So simple, yet so challenging. How are you, Jerry?
Thank you, sir. Good. I had a tremendous feeling of gratitude, and the mind had a focus of being, and it was almost like a prayer of being inspired by the existence to stimulate my intellect, I guess, to take the right actions at the right time.
Yes. The gratitude, we normally talk of the gratitude and a blessing as if it will come from the heaven. No. It has to be a conscious. I have to be aware that even now, grace and blessing of the existence is descending on all of us, whether we realize it or not. If I go back again to, so pain is a blessing to me. Science says that if you do not feel the high temperature, you cannot find out what illness you have in the body. If because of the sickness you don't have, there are some people, who do not have that level of, their temperature does not rise. So from there the concept has come of silent illness, silent killers. I don't know what's happening to my heart. Next day I'm gone. So I should feel discomfort, but I'm not worthy of suffering. That is the goal of Karma Yoga. Look at it. How are you, Barbara? I could see your lips moving, but sound. Okay, I could make out. You have done very good. How are you, Ashok?
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, sir.
Very good, peaceful, quiet.
Peaceful, quiet. Thank you for doing Namaste twice. How are you, Sangeeta?
सर बहुत अच्छा था सर ऐसा थोड़ा सिर में हैवीनेस थी पर मेडिटेशन के बाद फील एकदम लाइट हो गया
Light, yeah. She feels lightness. Before that, she was feeling heaviness. Any point of discomfort, anxiety, first thought, my mind must have that I'm not worthy of suffering. And from there you start. I had the same problem a couple of weeks ago. So I did everything which is possible outside. But my intellect said that I'm not worthy of suffering. You will be able to reduce even the physical pain. It is not anesthesia. It is a conscious approach. How are you, Brandy?
I'm good, thank you. Pretty relaxed and peaceful, and working on a PhD now in karma yoga.
Yes. You're already.
Maybe the second one.
Second. Yes, it just flashed into my mind. I said, oh, I can give that example. How are you, Samir? Make an effort, Barbara, even it's okay. Yeah, so.
Sir, in the beginning, I was not feeling well, but I don't know why. Lot of thoughts and lot of going on in my head. And after some time, as after the breathing, no, sir, everything started getting inside me, and all thoughts were means disappearing totally. And after that, I was total at peace. But now I'm feeling a lot better than what I was when I started the practice.
Better, and then the mass. All these uninvited, unwelcome thoughts takes over mind. Just think, we have to do karma yoga. Only then it can leave us. Karma yoga is a practice. I'm applying in my life.
Sir, when we start thinking about the principles, no, what you teach us, you don't need meditation. Thoughts start disappearing by just thinking and focusing on those principles.
You found the
And
solution. You found the solution. So whenever, wherever, complete the sentence. How are you, Anesthesia?
Thank you. I'm fine. Absorbed and today I had a feeling of pulsations on my body
Yeah.
or inside my body. I even thought that I am a little bit moving. I don't know if I did like that, but it was a feeling of why being observed.
Now, I'm not comparing, but just I'm expressing the way anesthesia speaks, her soft and gentle voice. Our mind says that she can never be angry and upset. She says, no, 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 no. I'm not
I can.
I can. How are you, Vaibhav?
So I'm good. It's like that keeping that mental space empty so I can be available to myself, and then I can pick up any task with freedom. It was like there's no impression from the back from previous impressions, and I can keep myself free.
Beautiful. That's a beautiful expression coming from your experience. It's a clear understanding. You see that, why I gave an example of anesthesia, that soft and gentle voice, but then she said, no, I can be upset. So upset comes from the mind. Karma yoga, right and proper attitude. Keep on speaking softly and gently, but it transforms the life, my friends. I don't know how deeper you are taking it. How are you, my friend Terry? I missed meeting her when I was in New Jersey, but I'll make a program.
I was not. Let me see. I do not think that I am worthy of suffering, but I'm experiencing things that I don't like. And I really the whole time was thinking about the subject of when, in the beginning, when you mentioned when your mother dies, I just was thinking about that for the entire rest of the
Okay.
talk.
So you see, Terry, there are two things. I know you are wise, so you will understand. So when we talk of the Hatha Yoga, especially the Hatha Yoga, I'm taking that. So Hatha Yoga emphasizes that I should have a minimum physical and a mental mental well-being to start the journey of the self-discovery. Now, the second point is that when we understand the higher yoga or higher principles of Eastern wisdom, we say that anyone and everyone can do the practice of yoga. And in order to do that, we have to become a seeker. We have to constantly replace that I'm not worthy of suffering, whatever is happening in the body and the mind or elsewhere. It has nothing to do with me. The moment we replace the unwanted, unwelcome thoughts with these thoughts, existence is already there. Existence will do the best it can for us. That is all for today. Thank you very much for tolerating.
Thank